Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, February 18th, 2013. Of course, the aftermath of last night's Elimination Chamber review. If you didn't see my review last night, that was an okay Chamber pay-per-view. The Chamber match nearly had one, which was great. Main event kind of another silly ending, which leads us to our first segment. But my thoughts on Raw going after the Elimination Chamber, not much build-up for Mania as I expected, but I think next week should be the big week when Mania gets built up because the main event for the WWE Championship may be up in the air. To be honest, I only saw about 1/5 of Raw tonight because I missed about the first hour or so because I was DJing a last-minute basketball game tonight, Warrior basketball against Eisenhower, one of my big rivals, so I had to do that game. I wasn't going to do that game, but the game got rescheduled. So I was like, I'm doing this game no matter what. So I did it. So I missed the opening segment, which I'll talk about my thoughts about it, which made next week's main event, which I'm glad they're doing. And I could smell a triple threat, especially if Taker not wrestling. I'll talk about that in a moment. I also missed the first two matches. Miz against Cesaro. I thought they were going to have a rematch in Mania, but I bet they will have a rematch in Mania for the title, because I think it wasn't for the title. No DQ. Miz won with the figure four for what I read. And also missed Mark Henry squashing the hell out of Sin Cara. I also missed Jack Swagger's segment too, but I'll talk about that when I talk about Jack Swagger's match. But anyway, so that's all I missed tonight. That's all I missed. The other matches I did see. So on with the opening segment that I did miss for what I read, CM Punk came out, bitching once again that he lost to The Rock in a weird fashion because it took two referees for The Rock to win. Because Punk had the match won with the GTS, but the referee got knocked out thanks to Heyman kind of like having the referee be inadvertently with Punk in a little incident there. And another referee got injured too, but indeed Rock did get the win. So Punk was still bitching about losing to The Rock again. And he was like really upset that, of course, of all people, and he deserves it better. He deserves this tongue lashing from Punk that Cena is, of course, well, as of now, the number one contender for the title at WrestleMania because he won the Rumble. Because Rock should have been disqualified because, of course, the stipulation was Rock, if he got DQ'd or counted out, he would have lost the title. So Punk felt Rock should have been DQ'd, got screwed again, blah, 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 blah. Then he's very upset about Cena being a Royal Rumble. And Punk, like I said, gave Cena a big tongue lashing. And Cena challenged Punk to another match for tonight, but it ended up being next week. So next week, and I'm glad this is happening, John Cena will put up his WrestleMania title match against CM Punk next week on Raw in Dallas. Tonight was in Lafayette. I'm glad it wasn't on Raw tonight because the crowd in Lafayette kind of sucked. Anyway, so the winner of that match will get the opportunity to wrestle Rock at Mania. I smell some. I make some big predictions on here. Yes, my predictions have been a little off these days. But I predict, since I read about, because Taker, spoiler alert, did not show up again tonight. So maybe Taker may show up next week. So something's going to happen. That's my prediction. Something is going to happen. A Mania match will be made no matter what. Because I thought Rock and Cena was official. But now that Cena's putting up a title match, I predict that something's going to happen between Rock and Cena and Punk. During the match between Cena and Punk, I smell something will happen, like a DQ or something, double DQ, double countout or something. It will make Rock and Cena and Rock a triple threat. That's what we all want. You know, Rock and Cena one-on-one again? Come on, we don't want that. Make it more interesting. Make it a triple threat. Especially with people uncertain about Taker status for Mania. Make it a fucking triple threat. Either Rock's going to interfere or something that cause both of them the match, and of course, make it a triple threat. Or Taker's going to come out, screw Punk, and build up Punk versus Taker. Whatever will happen. So either we're going to get a triple threat out of this, with some screwy to call the triple threat between Rock, Cena, and Punk, which what we all want, we be in that wrestling community, or Taker comes back, screws Punk, and Cena wins, unfortunately. And Rock Cena 2 is official. So, there you go. Now on with our, like I said, missed the first two matches, Mark Henry and Sin Cara, and Miz and Cesaro. So I told you Cesaro lost to Miz, no DQ. Like I said, probably smell a title match at Mania between Miz and Cesaro or next week on Raw. see what happens there. In Mark Henry inducted a new member to the Hall of Fame in a quick squasher on Singapore. A couple matches were made. Throughout the evening, we got, of course, The Shield in a six-man tag, kind of a rematch from last night. But replacing Cena with Sheamus and Ryback was Chris Jericho. We'll see how that match went. Also, Daniel Bryan and Kane continued their downward spiral as a tag team. Daniel Bryan did not want to tag with Kane. So Daniel Bryan took on Swagger this evening, and Orton was going to take on Kane. And Orton, he was a great heel, man. Orton was a great badass heel. He was a legend killer. He was awesome. But now you know it's lame when he's calling Kane Barney the fucking dinosaur. Come on, Randy. When's that heel turn going to happen? It's been teased for months. Are you going to have a turn here or what? Or is WWE scared about turning you heel as much as they're scared about turning Cena heel? Anyway, here's the first match that I actually saw. Because like I said, missed the first two. Dolph Ziggler taking on the world champion of WWE. Now I was like, cash in Money in the Bank. Well, as we would see, he almost did. Anyway, it was a decent matchup. Of course, Alberto recovering from his win against Big Show last night. Of course, Jack Swagger is the new number one contender. Of course, Swagger did a speech. Of course, like I said last night in my review, with this whole thing about him being a real American, about the immigrant shit he's been talking about with his new manager, Zap Carter. The promo he did deliver was a promo I thought he was going to deliver. I'll give my thoughts about that in a few moments. And it was a pretty decent match. Ziggler had the advantage early on. Of course, Biggie Langston tried his best to get involved. AJ too, but indeed, despite interference from Biggie Langston and AJ, and he almost got a zigzag, or at least a zigzag after a distraction from Biggie Langston. But he was going to a DDT after Biggie Langston distracted him, but after that DDT attempt by Ziggler, Alberto got the crossover breaker on Ziggler, tapping out. So there you go. Alberto Del Rio defeats Dolph Ziggler. I was like, man, he should have just cast it in, but it looked like he was going to. After the match, Alberto Del Rio got his butt whipped by Biggie Langston. And Alberto Del Rio laid out, and I was like, cash it, cash it. And yes, Dolph was grabbing the briefcase. He was this close to cashing in Money in the Bank, but yet again, something spoiled it. As he was about to give the briefcase to the referee, when Alberto laid out, and moments from being the new world champion, Ricardo Rodriguez grabbed the briefcase, being chased down the ramp by Biggie Langston, and while being chased off to the back by Biggie Langston, Ricardo dropped the briefcase. So AJ tried running back, and by the time AJ ran back with the briefcase, Alberto was back up and gave Dolph Ziggler an enziguri kick to prevent him from cashing in Money in the Bank. Is Dolph ever going to cash Money in the Bank? Man, it's a little too late now, because it's almost about a year. I think exactly not even less than a month, because I think last Mania was about March 28th or 9th. So, but hopefully Ziggler can cash in the Money in the Bank as soon as possible. Despite many attempts, Cena thwarted an attempt. Now McConnell thwarted an attempt on cashing in Money in the Bank tonight. Ziggler was this close to cashing it in with a little help from Biggie Langston. But the McConnell thwarted that from happening. So, is Ziggler going to have a cash in Money in the Bank? We'll probably find out soon enough. So there you go. It may not even be Alberto against Swagger. It could be Swagger and Ziggler. Now, that could be an interesting storyline for tag partners. You know, that could be an interesting scenario if Swagger does get to face Ziggler if Ziggler does cash in. But what about Zack Ryder in that proposed match for the Internet title? Probably that's over with. Probably that's never going to happen. Anyway, so there you go. Alberto Del Rio wins, but Ziggler almost gets the title. Almost cashing in. Money in the Bank, but thwarted by Ricardo. Now, on with our next matchup. A 6-person tag. Before that, we had Wade Barrett coming out to promote his new movie, Dead Man Down. Now, while I thought Bo Dallas was going to interrupt, but Sheamus interrupted it. So we could have a little mini feud with Sheamus and Wade Barrett while he prepares to feud against Bo Dallas eventually, with Bo Dallas interfering a lot and beating Wade Barrett in his match. So, expect a feud between Bo Dallas and Wade Barrett soon to build up a little. But till then, Sheamus and Wade Barrett could have a match next week for retaliation for Sheamus interrupting Wade Barrett's trailer for his new movie, Dead Man Down, which no one cares. Because WWE films suck. Now on with our next match, which is a 6-person tag. It was Brodus Clay Tenzai with Naomi one of the fucking Dactyls taking on Primo, Epico, Rosa Mendes. It's kind of like the match 2 weeks ago, kind of a squasher. Naomi, I'm kind of glad that the fucking Dactyls are finally getting some action. They attacked, they double teamed on Rosa 2 weeks ago after the tag match between Bonus and Tenzai and Primo Epico. I think it was last week actually, but fucking Dactyls, they're not the best wrestlers in the world, like every other diva on the fucking roster. That's not Natalia. Stupid, she's stuck with Kelly. Anyway, so Naomi looked okay in a match. She only wrestled for a few seconds, but indeed it was a double splash. Opponent's Clan Tenzai. I said it last night. I'll say it again. On my review on Elimination Chamber, I'll say it again. I feel bad for Tenzai going through with this whole silliness storyline with him and Bonus. They would be more dominant if they were heels and not these silly faces. Anyway, so there you go. Bonus Clan Tenzai once again defeat Primo and Epico despite having Rosa. So there you go. Like I said, I watched a little bit at my friend's house, my friend Will, because I had to take him home because he was at the game. So I took him home, watched at least those 2 matches I mentioned, the 6-person tag and Barrett interruption, and Ziggler and Bodo. Then I left and missed Jack Swagger's speech about the State of the Union. Of course, like I mentioned last night, I'll say it again about that. Jack Swagger taking on a Bodo as of right now, unless Swagger does cash in. Ziggler does cash in Money to Bank from now to Mania. Storyline's all about Jack Swagger and Zep Coulter being all about the real America, about a Mexican immigrant being the champion, blah, 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 Bill of Rights, the immigrants stealing freedom that real Americans deserve, like this immigrant stealing the WWE Championship, blah, 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 blah. We the people, we the people. So after that little promo from Swagger, we had a match between him and another former world champion who also cashed in Money in the Bank like Jack Swagger did for the world title, Daniel Bryan. This is a pretty good matchup, actually. Pretty athletic matchup because these 2 guys are very athletic guys, collegiate guys, amateur wrestlers. Too bad wrestling is banned in the Olympics in 2020. That's stupid. Even though I don't watch the Olympics, but hey, Olympic wrestling influenced a lot of wrestlers. Hello, good angle. So Swagger and Daniel Bryan, very athletic matchup. Daniel Bryan almost had him tap into the no-lock, where this athletic matchup ended with, of course, the Patriot lock after an attempt by Bryan for the no-lock. One drop kick by Bryan after Swagger got to the ropes. And Swagger avoids that drop kick. Bryan hits the turnbuckle. The chop blocks the knees of Bryan. Got the ankle lock / Patriot Act. 1, 2, 3. Tapping out. Bryan did. Jack Swagger gets a victory in a decent matchup. There was a cool little spot, I think, a little suplex. I think it was in one match, but I forgot what it was. But anyway, decent match, very athletic matchup between these guys. Not as good as other matches I've seen in a while lately, like Bryan against Jericho last week, Punk against Jericho 2 weeks ago, but still a decent matchup. So there you go. Jack Swagger getting momentum for his title match at WrestleMania against Alberto Del Rio with a victory over Daniel Bryan tonight. Now, on with the next segment involving Vicky Guerrero, saying she's promising a big announcement that will affect Paul Heyman's future. She hired an assistant. I don't think that was the big announcement, but it was still an announcement nonetheless. Not as big an announcement as WrestleMania 30 now being in the Superdome in New Orleans. Hopefully there's no power outage like at Super Bowl. Anyway, the assistant that Vicky Guerrero revealed was, of all people, Brad Maddox. Of course, he exposed the shield being paid off by Heyman and all that stuff on the videotape. And he thought it was the assistant supervisor, but he's the assistant to the manager. But Heyman thought that was a big surprise. Brad Maddox being the assistant, but that wasn't the big surprise that Vicky promised. Vince McMahon appeared on the screen, saying that Paul Heyman, yes, you got your little stipulation last night, didn't fall through though. Walked did not DQ, all kind of not to lose the title. But when you did ask me to put that stipulation for that match last night, you said you'd do anything to get that stipulation. Well, anything is in writing. So Paul Heyman you will do anything to get that stipulation, well, you're going to have to prove it to me. You're going to fight me. Yes, with my crutches. I am going to fight you next week. Paul Heyman was kind of fearful, but McMahon's got crutches. But I smell Brock Lesnar coming back next week. That's another prediction. Now what I predict something's going to happen during the Cena Punk match to either build a triple threat between Cena, Punk, and Rock for the title, which is what I want and the internet wants. Or B, Taker comes out to set up the possible match between him and Punk. So that's going to happen. I also predict that Paul Heyman's going to have Brock Lesnar come out, beat the crap out of McMahon. Of course, once again, sending message to Triple H to come back to All Out Dismay to wrestle Lesnar again. It'd be a shitty match at Mania. So there you go. That's the big surprise. Heyman to fight McMahon next week in Dallas. The 106-man tag. Chris Jericho, Sheamus, and Ryback taking on the Shield. And of course, in a Elimination Chamber rematch. Now I thought that Sheamus and Ryback, with of course Jericho taking Cena's spot, was going to get revenge after losing to the Shield last night. But surprisingly, yet again, he didn't. But for being a 6-man tag, it was pretty good. But it was almost identical to last night, with the Shield dominating most of the matchup after an early wall by Jericho, Sheamus, and Ryback. Shield dominated the later half of the match, isolating Sheamus in the corner until, of course, Ryback got the hot tag. The Jericho did his moves. But once again, with a little help from Roman Reigns, the Shield got the victory yet again. The ending came when Jericho had the Walls of Jericho on Ambrose. Sheamus attacked Reigns. And with Reigns and Sheamus out of the ring and Ryback out of there too, Jericho looked like he was going to win, but a killer move by Seth Rollins, coming up the top rope, kicking the hell out of Jericho's head. And with that, Dean Ambrose got the pin. 1, 2, 3. The Shield get another lucky steel victory. After, of course, Roman Reigns speared the hell out of Ryback to help Seth Rollins get the pin. Now, of course, Seth Rollins did the favor, helping Dean Ambrose get the win after attacking Jericho off the top. Shield, no matter how much I hate the storyline, they're a great team. They teamed up pretty well today, as they did last night. So who knows what's going to happen with the Shield storyline. So there you go. Shield, once again, dominant, getting a victory. A lucky victory for some people, but indeed a victory nonetheless. The Shield dominate yet again on Ryback, Sheamus, and Chris Jericho. Taking a spot in a decent 6-man tag. Almost a little better than last night's match. A little bit more exciting than last night's 6-man tag, but same was all Shield winning. Now, on with our next, well, it wasn't even a match. It was more like a segment to set up a comeback. No, it wasn't Christian. I wish Christian's coming back. I know he's coming back soon, but who knows? But we had Damien Sandow taking on, we were supposed to take on Kofi Kingston, but it was basically a beatdown to set up a comeback for R-Truth. Sandow did a speech. And he just beat the crap out of Kofi. The match never really started. It was just a beatdown. Nailed him with the mic and just beat him outside the ring and outside the ring. And then Sandow was dominated all over in his beatdown of Kofi. Like I said, here comes R-Truth coming back. Still feel a little ill will, feel a little better today, but still a little stuffed up. So bear with me. Anyway, R-Truth came back with the crap out of Sandow, helping his little Jimmy Buddy, former tag team partner, Kofi Kingston, came in like a house of fire, delivering a lot intact there. I smell a feud between R-Truth and Sandow. Maybe not tag team since World Scouts broke up again, so there you go. Kofi Kingston got beat down by Sandow. Wasn't really a match, but indeed R-Truth is back. Hopefully Christian comes back next week. Because all these people come back. R-Truth finally came back to wrestle. Probably start a feud with Sandow, and hopefully Christian comes back next week. But when a lot of people come back, especially maybe Taker next week, who knows? If Christian will come back before Mania or after Mania. Some may say after Mania. Now, on with our main event. Randy Orton against Kane. They wrestled at Mania last year, but it was an okay matchup. Kane and Orton, the matches don't suck. You know, I thought it was going to suck as usual, but still a decent match with these two. They do deliver okay matches despite their boringness now. They were both very more athletic back in the day. And, of course, like I said about Orton's promo, Orton was a great hero, but it's sad to see him go with Bonnie the Dinosaur child hero. Anyway, that's TVPG for you. And Orton ever going to turn heel again? But like I said, WWE's probably too scared about having Orton heel, as they're scared about turning Cena heel. Anyway, Kane dominated early having a matchup. Orton did, of course, did his 2 moves of doom. The DDT, actually two of the 3 moves of doom. He did the third though. The power slam, the DDT. But Kane was ready to come back. And ready to get a big move and ready to go for a choke slam. Now, D-Boy promised Kane that he wasn't going to interfere in Kane's match if Kane didn't interrupt Daniel Bryan's match. Well, Kane led up his ward. He did not interfere during Daniel Bryan's match against Jack Swagger. But Daniel Bryan broke his ward as Kane was setting up his choke slam on Orton. Daniel Bryan came out, distracted Kane. Enough for Randy Orton to come back with the RKO 1-2-3 victory for Randy Orton. So, Daniel Bryan and Kane's relationship is further going down the tubes. I smell they will lose the tag titles eventually. I don't know when, but eventually you're going to see Kane and D-Bryan lose the titles. I don't know if it'll be before Mania, after Mania, but somehow, someway, by May, I say by spring, they will lose the titles. Either before Mania, at Mania, or after Mania, by the end of April. By May, like I said. Now, in our last segment, with the college, Louisiana University band, Rock had a celebration. Of course, Ego Rock had to end Raw yet again to celebrate his win over CM Punk. Now, I saw a big thing with a curtain. Like, Rock said, finally, I beat Punk. But we were more like saying, finally, a new WWE title belt. Finally, after 8 fucking years of that spinner belt, we finally get a new belt. Before I come on the belt that Rock revealed tonight, I have to say I do feel ashamed. And I think probably a lot of the internet wrestling community may agree with me that they're probably pissed that they didn't have Punk get a new title. Like, come on, Punk was stuck with that title. And they were teasing this new title for months. You know, I thought they were going to reveal the new title for Punk, but indeed they revealed this new title for The Rock. Rock did reveal it tonight. It's like this big WWE logo. Probably the pictures will be all over the internet tonight. It's like the WWE Championship, the big WWE logo, champion on it, with the bummer ball on each buckle. The title looks okay, but anything and everything looks better than the fucking spinner belt. And his new belt will take a lot of time adjusting to. But when Rock does lose the title, are they gonna take off the bummer balls off the side? Or be like Cena, leave it as is, despite the fact that Cena doesn't have the belt anymore. And he still had the spinner belt no matter who had it. So it's nice to see a new belt, but the belt is nothing special. But still, at least we finally got rid of that spinner belt. 8 fucking years. So there you go. Rock revealed his new belt. And let's talk about his thoughts on the big match between him and whoever he faces at Mania. Of course, next week, Cena and Punk with its urban number 1 contender. And of course, Rock said, of all the people, of both Punk and Cena, I prefer the face. And he's about to say that. Here comes Cena to interrupt. But before Cena can get a word in, here comes CM Punk from behind with the old WWE Championship belt that was handed out to a crew member. But Punk came back out with the old belt, the spinner belt, nailed John Cena from behind. And after that, Punk and Rock were teasing a showdown, another brawl. But indeed, Punk took the easy way out. He walked out. That's how we end Raw, with Punk walking out from a Rock showdown with Cena laid out with end Raw. So that's how we end Raw tonight. So there you go. Like I said, okay, well, from what I saw, like I said, I missed a little, but at least I saw at least much enough to make a review. So we got Cena Punk next week. I predict 2 things will happen. Number 1, a match for Mania will be made either with the Punk Cena ending. Either a triple threat match with Rock interfering or something happening to cause a double DQ with Ref getting knocked out or something. And Brock Lesnar interfering in that match as well, or whatever, to cause a Rock Cena Punk triple threat, which is what we all want in that wrestling community, what I want, because Rock Cena, again, come on, make it more interesting with Punk in a triple threat. Or B, Punk gets screwed by Taker to set up Taker Punk. So we'll see what happens there. And I also predict that Brock Lesnar will get involved either in that match that calls a triple threat between Punk, Rock, and Cena, or he'll at least distract Vince McMahon or attack McMahon again doing his fight with Paul Heyman next week in Dallas. And of course, once again, coax Triple H to fight Brock Lesnar. So, like, the Mania build-up, we'll see how it builds up. So, it's only the start of the Mania build. So, hopefully next week, Mania can get very more interesting. So, as of right now, what it stands, Rock, Cena, Triple H, Lesnar, Taker, Punk, if that happens, and Alberto Swagger needed a lot of hype to build up this Mania. So there you go. That is it for my What We Review for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you very much. See you all later. And once again, happy President's Day, everybody. Yeah.